Most people watching the World Cup genuinely believe they are watching football. What they are actually watching is the final output of a process that began months before anyone set foot on a pitch. By the time the referee blows the first whistle, almost every variable has already been decided. The fans have no idea. I want to change that. Every World Cup match feels spontaneous. The goals, the missed chances, the referee calls from where you are sitting, it looks like controlled chaos. But there is an operation underneath all of it that runs with a level of precision most organizations would struggle to match. It controls where cameras point when replays air, and yes, even the exact moment a referee is allowed to pause the game. FIFA is not running this directly. There is a separate layer of professionals called match management, and almost none of them ever appear on screen. Here is what they actually do. 6 months before any match is played, a team of specialists arrives at every World Cup venue. Not coaches, not players. Analysts, logistics engineers, broadcast coordinators. Their job is to work through every possible variable before anyone shows up on match day, where exactly 80,000 people will be seated, how long a full stadium evacuation would take, the specific lighting levels cameras need to accurately pick up the color of each jersey. They also manage the grass temperature, and I want to be clear that this is not a minor footnote. FIFA requires the playing surface to sit between 10 and 26 degrees Celsius. The reason has nothing to do with the players. It is about how the ball moves. A football bounces differently at different surface temperatures, and at a World Cup, one bad bounce at the wrong moment can end a country's entire tournament. So they regulate it, the same way an engineer regulates any variable that cannot be left to chance. Most people assume there is a referee on the pitch, a couple of assistants on the sidelines, and that is roughly it. The actual number is up to 19 officials working a single match. Somewhere inside the stadium, in a room with no windows, there is a video match official, an offside VAR operator, a replay operator, and a data analyst. They are all watching the same game from up to 42 different camera angles at once. Since Qatar 2022, the offside system works completely differently to how it used to. The ball is tracked 500 times per second. Each player has 29 body points being measured on a continuous basis. When you see that offside line appear on your screen after a goal, a machine produced it in under a second after running through more information than any human official could process. The stated purpose is to remove human error from the biggest sporting event on the planet. I understand why that goal exists. I am also genuinely unsure whether a version of football with no human error left in it is still recognizably the same sport. When you watch a World Cup match on television, you are not seeing the game. You are seeing a version of it, assembled by a single broadcast organization that controls every camera feed coming out of every stadium. Every broadcaster in every country, whether it is the BBC, beIN Sports, or a regional channel somewhere in the Pacific, receives the exact same feed, the same angles, the same replays, the same editorial choices about what to show and when. Each match has more than 35 cameras running simultaneously. Some travel along rails built into the roof. Some are physically inside the goalposts. One, called the Spider Cam, hangs above the entire pitch on a cable system and moves at 30 kilometers per hour during play. Everything feeds into a production truck parked outside the stadium, where a single director makes split-second calls about what roughly 1.5 billion people see. One person's judgment made in real time shapes how the entire world reads the match. Of everything in this system, the data layer is what I keep coming back to. Since 2022, the official World Cup match ball has a sensor inside it. A small inertial measurement unit sits at the center of the ball and transmits information to a central system 500 times every second. On the pitch, each player wears a tracking device inside their vest. Sprint speed, heart rate, acceleration, distance covered, all of it logged continuously and fed in real time to the coaching staff and medical team sitting on the bench. So when you are watching a striker make a run toward goal and you feel the tension rising, his coach has already looked at the numbers. He knows that players' legs are operating at 94% of maximum output. He knows the heart rate is at 178 beats per minute. The decision about whether to pull him off was probably made before that run even started. The moment you are reading as drama, as something unfolding live, was already mapped out on someone else's screen. The World Cup is the most watched event in human history, and the football is genuinely good. But the game does not happen in isolation. Behind every match, there is a grass temperature crew, more than 40 camera operators, a ball transmitting sensor data 500 times a second, nearly 20 officials, and one director in a truck making calls that shape what billions of people experience. None of that makes the goals feel less real. It just gives you a more accurate picture of what you are actually watching. If this changed how you see it, leave a comment. I am curious how you feel about the technology side specifically. Does it make the game better, or is something being quietly traded away? I do not have a clean answer on that one myself. And if you want to keep looking at how things actually work under the surface, subscribe.